What's up guys, Nightingale here, and welcome back to another Intermediate Traveler's Guide video. Today I'm bringing you Advanced Wyvern 13. Now let's go ahead and start this video off right here, right now, and say that this is not your beginner's Wyvern 13 team. Who this is directly for, I almost thought about putting this in the Adventurer's Black Book, but I decided to put it here because this is going to be for somebody who doesn't want to seek one-shots, but are going to want to seek a very fast, very consistent Wyvern run. So keep this in mind. This is not your average Wyvern gear. This is for people who want very fast and very efficient Wyvern teams. So let's jump in, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up right here. We're going to jump right in and start talking about gear, units, and everything. This is not your normal crap. Okay, let's start off first with our tank, which is going to be General Purgus here. Now, why General Purgus is because Sigrid is dirt slow. This is, no joke, my one-shot Sigrid. All right, so let's go ahead and just put that out there. This is my one-shot Sigrid. But the point is that this Sigrid should be the same either way. Super high damage, super high, just nuke. Pen, rage, this is it. You're wanting the Holy Grail, you're wanting the fastest as possible, this is how you do it. You need General Purgus. So we're gonna go ahead and pop him up first. So I'm going to do this for a second, and I'm going to open up his skills right here. Now, if you look at this, you can see that at first glance, it's not actually too crazy. Then you actually look at it and you're going, oh my god, that's almost all ER gear. Yes, it is. Okay, so here's what we've got. We've got roughly 180, or I think this is 150,000 EHP build I got off Fribbles. The most important thing is this stat right there. 176 ER. And while this will not prevent him from being pushed back every time, it will prevent him from being pushed back most of the time. Unlike Singelica here, we don't care if he gets a debuff stripped or gets pushed back. It's mostly here to prevent him from being pushed back, so that if he does ever get to cycle, he can get a little bit damage in here. Technically, I could have built this thing absolutely stupid, but the point is that you'll see that he doesn't get pushed back because we're trying to keep as much damage going forward as possible. But the main things to note is that he does have 25,000, almost 26,000 HP at, this is triple S by the way. He is a triple S General Purgus. And 1,757 defense. Super tanky boy. We do have Proof of Valor on him so that he takes the least amount of damage possible. I am using his proper exclusive equipment, which is the number 2 exclusive equipment, which boosts his passive. And as you can see, my General Purgus is technically leveled up a little more than normal, but that's because, you know, we used him in other places. But the only thing you need here is the passive. You will never see a second turn on this. So technically you can count him as a Friendship 10 unit. This is some of my best ER gear being thrown on him according to Fribbles. Alright, next up, the debuffer of the group. We are going to look at Clarissa. Now, do keep in mind that this is a triple S Clarissa on the team imprint. This is for everybody else. So everybody is getting 8.4%. This is also my one-shot Clarissa to a point. As far as it's the same Clarissa with the passive maxed and the S1 max, I do not need this. Basically what I'm trying to get here is that if you level this up in the beginning, and you level your Clarissa, this is how she should be when you start your Wyvern 13 team. Now, moving forward, this gets progressed into where we're at today, which is super OP gear, and then you progress it to then move to the Adventurer Black Book, and you go look at that version of Clarissa who one-shots Wave 1. These Clarissas serve 2 totally different jobs. This one is here for debuffs. She is here to guarantee the most amount of debuffs we can lay down. Why? Because we're going to use Junkyard Dog. If you don't have Junkyard Dog, your number 2 artifact is Cradle of Life, which is Sigrid's artifact from her banner. Just get it leveled up. Actually, it's probably now better to use Cradle of Life. I don't have it, but I have Junkyard Dog, so I'm going to take the shot at the burn. Next up is the exclusive equipment. This is what makes the difference between normal Wyvern 13 Sigrid and my one-shots, or my Wyvern 13 Clarissa, my normal one, and the one-shot variation, is the exclusive equipment. Here we need number 2. This is what you want to start with when you start Wyvern 13, and this is what you want to end if you get to this point, which we're calling the advanced Wyvern 13. So I didn't decide to go for the max roll. I said, screw it, wherever I get it is great, because I'm not after the damage here, I'm after the debuffs. That's the most important thing. So being that her S1 will cycle bleeds on, great, extra debuffs, we're good to go. If you're doing one shot, you need number 3, by the way. Okay, so let's go in and talk quickly about her stats. Again, the most important stat here is this stat right there, 71 effectiveness. 65 is your actual benchmark. I got above it, we're good to go. Next stat you want to notice is I do have pretty good crit damage here, and we also got her sitting right at the 85 crit chance so we can get the maximum amount of damage. She is the fastest unit on my team at 185 speed, and then 3,089 attack. So here, the whole goal of this is, you're probably going, well, she has 2 AoEs. Why is she on pin? You are great at deducting. Here's why. Her S1 is a single attack. Now, we don't care about the AoE damage. We don't care about any of that. What we're here for is the fact that we're trying to get the most amount of damage forward onto the Wyvern as quickly as possible. And we got good crit chance, good crit damage. I'm not even gonna lie. No joke. This is a lot of really good speed gear to get this. But overall, this is something that you're going to want to aim towards in the long term of things. Now, again, I went pen because I'm trying to get the most amount of damage off the S1, which is what's going to hit the Wyvern the most. Now, let's go talk about the next most important unit here, which is probably going to be the highest damaging unit in the end. Luluka. Now, Luluka is one that I've been preaching on for a very, very long time. It's a very early replacement for your Furious when you start playing. Why I like Luluka is for this reason. She gives you a shield, she gives you a defense buff, which helps keep you in the fight longer. Now, there's a couple things about Luluka that I really, really like that make up for the slower aspects of the runs. And that's, we're gonna jump right in and start talking with the exclusive equipment. This is what makes or breaks your Luluka. This will determine whether or not she's performs or does not perform, is having the number 2 exclusive equipment here. Has a 35% chance to grant an extra attack of the same skill when using Wild Wave. It can only happen once per character's turn. Now, the cool thing here is this is what makes her actually do more damage than Sigrid. By the more times this comes in and procs, the more damage she's gonna do. We're gonna run her on Daydream Joker. I did not take the time to go check out if Caladra would technically be max damage at plus 30. I might put a notation right here. If I decide to, I'll put it somewhere here. If I do check it, if not, I'd still recommend Daydream Joker over anything because you need to be working towards just having several of these on your account. Anyway, now let's talk about the build. You see a rage set, yes you do. We're talking fast, we want to go first. You know, we're trying to get as much amount of damage here. We're trying to go for the absolute maximum amount of damage output to get you cycling around these Wyverns as much as possible. This is a plus 13 Luluka, and where the molas are missing is the barrier. Again, PvE unit. I never decided to finish this off. Plus, that's pretty expensive right here. Also, fun fact, this is also because of... See if you guys figured out before I get to it. That's correct. 1, 2, 3 would have been Friendship 10, but I didn't wait. I was thinking about doing that, but I needed the cooldown on it. I don't remember for what PvE content, so by the time I got her Friendship 10, I waited. But I can still use them if I ever want to finish it off. It's 3 to get the next barrier and 5. So I only technically would have to invest 5 more molas to finish her off. Maybe someday if I ever bring her off into a PvP build. Now that I'm no longer using her, in the grand scheme of things, I might actually start looking at PvP Luluka. But you will want to make sure that your S1 is maxed. That's the most important thing here. Max S1, cooldown on S3, then technically if you really want to go all in to try to get that wave 1 down as fast as possible, max out the molas here. Now let's talk about stats. Again, most important stat. I just barely made it across the finish line, not gonna lie. Actually, if that chest was probably reforged, it would have done it. But thankfully, I'm not spending reforged mats. 65 effectiveness, so she will land the defense break as cleanly as possible. She's got good crit damage. We are at the magic number of 85 crit or 85 crit chance. She is the second fastest unit on my team for other reasons, but basically you want her and Clarissa to go off first so that you clear wave 1, and then we've got okay bulk-ish up here. I mean, she shouldn't get hit, and we've got pretty good attack at the top. All right, now because you guys probably haven't watched, or maybe you have watched my Wyvern one-shot video, here is my Wyvern one-shot Sigrid. So pretty much max S1, and this is specifically tuned for Katie's 13. Remember that. It's my Wyvern one-shot Sigrid, but it's tuned for Katie's 13. So we needed to make sure we had absolutely max stats here to get as much damage. Actually, fun fact, I believe this Sigrid is different than the one-shot video. I believe this is the one I tweaked after the video. I will have to double check, but I think this is what I tweaked after. We're still running Daydream Joker. Yes, I run Daydream Joker on Katie's. I built in the reduced damage for it, so don't worry. We are using Rage Pen here because everything's single target and we want as much damage as possible because, again, we're trying to get you the fastest Wyvern team possible. That's not a one-shot comp. I don't have any imprints on her. I didn't feel like it was necessary to ever go that route, so I still have not done anything towards imprints. She is plus 15 because she was your beginning unit, which you were using to carry you through story, beginning Wyvern 13. So yes, she should be plus 15 by this point. If she is not, please plus 15 this unit. All right, let's talk about stats. We have her at 4,781 attack. We have her at the magic 100 crit rate because, again, this is tuned for Katie's 13 one-shot, not Wyvern one-shot. I could bake in more crit damage if this was better. Now, effectiveness. Normally, your Sigrids will probably want more effectiveness than this, but because of what we are dealing with here, this is supposed to be a nuke. This is supposed to do the most amount of damage in one swing whenever it attacks. So you can bake off the effectiveness for more crit damage if you want, or more attack, wherever you get it from, but this is just what's naturally baked into the gear. I did not specifically go for this. I was not intending for this, but this was just what gave me the maximum amount of damage for Katie's 13. Now, let's jump in and give you a run. So here we go. I'm gonna put it on auto because I got flamed for this with my one-shot videos, even though I walked you guys through specifically in order to make sure that you can see what goes on. But in this case, the video is gonna be a little bit longer than a one-shot. So we want Clarissa to go first or Luluco to go first. It doesn't really matter. I actually prefer Clarissa to go first. Oh God, this is gonna be beautiful because it's absolutely everything you need. Is just for this reason right here. Bang. I got rid of everything turn 1. This is gonna be a glorious run. Just please don't miss the defense break. So now we're gonna have everybody get pushed forward. Thank you, General Perkins, for not getting pushed back at all during this video. You are great. Luluca, please land a defense break when you swing around. So Sigrid will S3 this without a defense break, which is fine. It's okay. We'll get the damage here in just a second. I promise you it will make up for it. I did 44,000, which, by the way, I checked my old Wyvern team. That's what my original S3 did with defense break. It's pretty sad. But here we go. Let's go for a defense break. There we go. Now watch what happens here. This is where the magic happens and why I really like this team. So we now are going to ruin this Wyvern. Below 50%. Here comes the S1, and Luluca finishes it off. Pretty much Wyvern 13 one-shot. Almost. Close, but not quite. Now, what I'm going to do is I will attempt at some point in the post-production to give you... Actually, you know what? I'm going to overlay. When this starts, I'm going to put somewhere that's not important in here. Maybe even over my face. I will put the Wyvern one-shot as soon as it starts right here as well. And I'm going to have it run while this is going, so that you can see how close this actually is to a Wyvern one-shot. Now, it's not exactly as fast. It's still gonna be slower because we don't have certain mechanics that we're blasting through, although we got ridiculously close to doing that. We landed everything we needed turn 1. We got the defense break and bleeds, and oh my gosh, that was literally the best case scenario. I knew it would do it, but I hadn't seen it yet with the testing that I had done with this team. This is why I say it's an advanced version, because we are using rage sets, we are using pen sets, we are taking the most value we can out of our gear to give you guys the fastest Wyvern team that is not one-shot. So, If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. I'll try to help you guys out and help you work up other things. Now, is there other teams that will work? Probably. This is what I'm trying to teach and promote, is the progression of units that you will build. General Purgus is obviously a very hard choice for certain people because he's a ML4, so it's not the easiest unit to get a hold of. But if you do, this is how it works. Would this technically work with Angelica? No. It would have to be done a little bit different and it will slow it down. I have not looked at this with Mui, nor do I really want to. Just because the concept is using what you've had. Now, I say that with this. Mui's a great character. He's wonderful for new players. But in the terms of how everything works here, this was exactly what I was after. General Purgus gives you an attack buff. You have Clarissa and Luluka doing defense breaks and bleeds. Well, defense breaks and bleeds and the being able to counter up. And then Sigrid here for the big damage. Now, I do want to show this before we go. This is probably the most important thing here, is that you see the differences in damage and why I say it's important. Sigrid did 168,000 damage. Now, which is way different than what my original Wyvern was. Luluka actually looked more like this, because we're not staying in the runs as long. Then Luluka also did 88,000. General Purgus did 4,000. Go at it, my dude. Keep going. And then Clarissa did 25,000. That's also because of what she did. So Sigrid is the main damage carry here. Luluka is definitely number 2. I was going to vote that Luluka was going to technically come out on top, but now I remember why. We're not staying in the Wyvern as long. It's a lot shorter. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, try to hit me up in the comments below. I'll help you out as best I can. I'll see you guys in the next one.